stage 5s and stage 6, and before we see that really starting to ignite.
And that's going to be very interesting as we move through. As you can see, the special jersey winners, the sprint winner, the KOM winner, they are based on points, like competition. You've got your young riders. That's riders under 23, Espoir as it's known on the road. The Masters rider winner, that is for all riders over 45, and the GCC winner. That pricing increasing. So our stage winner for today in category 2, that prize money $395 for the team at $13,200 and $7,000 for the individual win in the GC when we get to the end of the 7 stages in category 2. And if you think this is huge, just wait till we get to category 1.
Well, there it is, category 1 prize money on your screen.
Category 1 winner will be walking away with $12,000. The winning team, $23,325. Sprint winners, the special jersey winners, $3,000 apiece, and $750 for the stage win, $450 for second. Third place is $300. The KOM winner, $150, and the sprint winner, $150.
And let's just remember, these are equal prize money across the men's and the women's races. So what you have just seen now on the run into the men's race is exactly the same as the prize money awarded in the women's race, where stage 1 was completed earlier.
And don't forget, you can watch that back. Make sure you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, be notified when MyWhoosh go live, or whether that is one of the new adverts, or whether that is for any of the coverage of the $1 million prize fund that applies to this race. It was first run in 2023. These are the prizes of category 1 in 2025. It is a huge, huge prize fund, and it shows the commitment to cycling esports for MyWhoosh.
Well, and let's not forget that all the riders who finish the MyWhoosh Championships also being sent out MyWhoosh kit. And we saw Mina Koinstinen in her Pain Cave Racing Stage 1 earlier on, wearing the retro version from 2023.
So 2025 riders will be getting those goodie bags coming towards them, but they've got to complete 7 stages. Stage 1, we are in Japan as we were for the women's race. It's a slightly different version, but uses the same loops. We have our run in to the main circuit, which you can see there, with the main loop being repeated, with the climb time and time again on the way round before we run out to our race finish. But the profile here, very telling in how this is going to play out.
Yeah, and we'll very shortly see that profile in front of us. 57.1 kilometres of riding today, 471 metres of climbing for the men. There are 2 sprint checkpoints along the way and 3 climbing checkpoints. And first of all, we go up that Kyoto climb number 1. In fact, we go up the Kyoto climb 3 times. But you'll see the checkpoint, just the final 800 metres of that climb. There are earlier steps to that climb that the riders will tackle. So the first one coming at the 4 kilometre marker, that's going to be interesting out of the pen. Then we go through the first sprint checkpoint, the Tokyo sprint, 12.4 kilometres that comes at. 23.4 is when the second climb comes into play, 37.7 when the third climb checkpoint comes into play. Then at 46.1, it's the second of those 2 sprints, and then the finish line at 57.1. Okay, that's 9 kilometres from the end of the Tokyo sprint checkpoint. Now, for me, what's really interesting today is the sprint competition is really split after the climbs. You've got 1 climb before and then 2 climbs between those 2 sprint checkpoints. It's first across the line. That is important, and points in both that climbing and sprint competition being awarded for first, second, third and fourth rider and 5th across the line in both those competitions.
And then that run into the finish to hit that 57.1 marker. We've seen it's basically the same finish that we saw in the women's race. You go through the, you got a long transition off the climb through that Tokyo Sprint checkpoint for the second time. Then you drop down. It's a little bit bumpy, but then the run into the finish is tough, and it's a sprint uphill to finish. So it's not a pure sprinter's finish, and it's not a pure climber's finish, particularly on the end of the stage. 6 race categories going to be taken to race. Start category 6, the first group of riders away. In category 6, we've got 10 teams, 1 team of 4, 9 teams of 5. So they're going to fly their way in and across your screen. Going to focus on our smallest team first of all, the Les Petits Cannibals. Xavier Maillard, Malt Newman, Simon Patzel and Julian Sponsel, a team which mixes youth and experience, because Patzel and Sponsel riding in that under-23 competition. In the Masters competition is Maillard and Newman. So we've got the Master and the apprentices.
Well, we do indeed. There are 35 youth under 23 riders across this men's race. There are 73 masters, so 45 and older, which is 17% of the race field. Now, in category 6, 28 of those masters take place in this category, 7 of those youth riders. The teams for me, do you know there are some great teams here? BMC Spinergy, I think, with Cridland, McMurtry, Abbott, Llewellyn and Milostic could go really well. Let's not forget Riley Milostic is one of those under 23 riders. We can talk once the racing starts, I think, Matt, against who will be your pick. I think Cycling District 6 could go strongly as well as the BMC Sixies.
So indeed, we have lots of teams with those 5 riders. It is the fastest 3 riders' times that are added together to give you that team time. So BMC Spinergy, BMC 6, BMC Sixers, BMC 6 is Cycling District 6, along with Carbon, Team 71, Wheelies Racing, and the ZTBR E-Cycling 6 team. All have 5 riders, and we'll be looking to 3 of those riders on each day to have those team times added together to give them the overall team time. For that team of 4, the Les Petits Cannibals, it does mean that they only have 1 spare rider from that minimum number of 3. Get your maximums and minimums right.
Well, talking about 93 riders on the start sheets in category 6. It's our largest race field across both the men's and the women's race.
And a huge amount of individual riders as well to make up this huge race field here today. Not riding 4 teams that definitely have no Palu Junior de Manuel has to be right up there in the mix. Roscoe, along with Halbrich, Tigard, Diaz, Sabrino, Ibrahim and Silva, all going to be likely contenders, but you can't count out anybody at all. It's time to get ready to race here on MyWhoosh. On the MyWhoosh Championships, we are go with category 6 on stage 1. Our first riders away in the men's race. This huge pack rolling its way out. A behemoth of riders rolling their way through at speed and picking up pace already. It's we've got a kick off the front as Arroyo goes off the front ahead of the field, being chased here very hard by Michael Adekanye. Adekanye in another of our master skin suits. And if you weren't watching earlier, there are 2 different colours jerseys in front of you. The purple jersey, which is the standard category 6 jersey you see on Sunday Race Club, but also those riders who are of more mature years, over 45, they get a green skin suit as well. It is a slightly different green to the sprint skin suit, so do make sure you keep an eye on those riders as they make their way around the circuit. Really key. Do make sure that you keep an eye on those skin suits to see who is doing what. At the moment, Saeed El Hamadi out and away, the United Arab Emirates rider, the UAE rider, leading this race field out in category 6 as we go across the wooden walkway. They're going to continue around. It's a tight right-hand turn. The group are spread out. As you can see, if we look back, it's a long line of riders, a few gaps developing, and they are shown also top right-hand side of your screen. Each of those purple discs are up there as well.
Well, at the 1.1 kilometre marker, they are fast and furious out of the pen. Category 6, Arago, Marin, Torres, Almadi, Teron, all in the mix. Peter Cridland is on the front of the pack as well. I was about to say finally we see them settle, but we're not really seeing them settle. We're seeing huge amounts of challenges laid out to the peloton. We're in with Julio Arago at the moment as he tries to zip up his jersey. The pack moving really fast out of the pen, and look at the tail on that.
It is a long stretch on the ride here, and you can just see Arago there just giving up on the jacket and diving into the pedaling. The pace is up 43 kilometers an hour at the moment. We are making our way over this slight rise as they go over the top of this. We'll see how many riders are left in contention. Category 6 have made the decision. We are not going to wait. We are going for this from the gun. Let's gas it and let's see how many riders we can take out from the race start and deposit out and away. Bearing in mind, we're going into the climb at 3.4k. It's our first checkpoint.
Well, it is indeed. And at 1.8k, they're into the climb at the moment, and the climb is really pushing here. This is the first stage of two parts of the climb. It's only the second part of the climb that is actually the checkpoint, taking us to that 4 kilometre marker. But Tigart, Fabra, Thompson, Wakefield, Newman, Mamba, they are all in the mix. And the pack, goodness me, it's rolling, and we really are seeing a large group ride away. Let's bear in mind 93 riders were on the start sheets, but we're looking now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups at least on the road.
It's just smashed them apart, and there's just left riders in the dust behind. It's definitely going to be a tough day at the office for some. Don't forget, keep on riding, keep on rolling. Make sure that you stay in contention as you come into our finish. It's going to be really, really key to be there now. You cannot let these gaps go, and I think that's the problem for these riders. They know that there'll be riders coming behind, but don't panic. This is stage 1. There's still plenty of time to get into position as you move away from stage 1 into stage 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you have a bad day on day 1, there's still loads of time left. You know, we've got a time trial stage which really will show who is the strongest rider, the race of truth as it's known.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's not. It's a stage race, not a crit.
Yes, it is a stage race, not correct. And we do have sprints, and we have the climbs, and we have those different competitions that you saw earlier on. Our Category 6 riders away. Should we just dive a little bit deeper into these race teams in Category 6 here, Emma?
Yeah, we can.
You mentioned BMC Spinergy earlier on. Cridland, McMurtry, Abbott Llewellyn, and Ronnie Milostic. I mean, a fantastic mix of riders, but are they going to be the strongest? Are we going to see anybody able to challenge that? There's quite a few riders who I think have definitely got the ability to do that, and it will depend on the team tactics, will it not?
Well, I think, let's credit to BMC. They've got 4 squads in this Category 6 race. Spinergy, I think, could be one of the strongest, but I do think they're going to go up against their own team in the BMC 6 E's. Montoya, Arago, Toro, Milano and Escobar. I think that is a strong squad. Then when I take a look down the other squads, Level Carbon, Efren Mamba, Brian Jose, Lenda Cadabona, Jeff Rooney and Ian Lloyd. Jeff Rooney is going to come into his own climbing, I really think. For me also, maybe the Wheelies Racing squad, Teron, Sebza, Kozel, Lenador and Nielsen could be ones to watch. Well, I do think it really depends on how these riders go day after day after day after day. For me, Jeff Rooney is coming on towards the front of the pack. Now, we know Jeff Rooney has phenomenal endurance. He was the first rider on MyWhoosh to Everest. And, he has that endurance to just keep pushing. And when the gradient goes up, he really comes to the fore right now, as we're seeing, because Orego, Silva and Rooney, the three riders pushing on the front here, are the three riders pushing towards that checkpoint at the 4 kilometre marker. It is 4 kilometres, that first checkpoint today. And, well, Rooney is right in the mix.
And Jeff there, wearing his MyWhoosh jersey, the wall adorned with all 7 stage course profiles by the side there, and right in the battle here at the front of the race as they make their way up the climb for the first time. The riders up and away and in underneath the banner they go. Is Rooney going to get a top 5 here? He battles to the line. I think he held on for a top of 5 position. Let's bring you that Kyoto climb. Orego coming through in first place. Montoya coming through in second. Cadabona coming through in third. The riders coming through in 4th and 5th, Toro, and then Rooney. So Jeff Rooney takes away that 1 point. He takes away 5th place. Toro going strong on the climb, and a real mix of riders. But the BMC 6s placing 3 riders inside the top 5. 4 riders, well, you've got to go to 9th place for the BMC 6s. David Milano, the 4th of their counters, but right up there. The Petit Cannibals that we mentioned earlier on, the best rider so far is Julian Sponsel from Switzerland. He was in 12th place. Other teams featuring strongly, Level Carbon with Cadabona, Rooney, as we mentioned, right up in the mix inside the top 10. The Wheelies putting riders up there with Rosharan, Teron. No surprises to see him right up in that mix as well. Category 6 flying, category 5 down on the start line.
Well, they are indeed. 45 riders, just to note, in that leading group in category 6.
So with 45 riders going clear in category 6, let's look at category 5, the first step up the ladder. So we take a look at down 12 teams representing a wide variety of riders. Great to see so many riders, in fact, in teams. 3 teams of 4, 9 teams of 5 making that up. Our teams of 4, Danish Dynamites, who have Strandvig, Hyongard, along with Nielsen and Vinther. The other teams of 4, the road racing team with Garces, Senio, Notari and Cavajal, and Team Alpha, Buemer, Butheab, along with Muntha Al-Murami and Bo Makadami. And all 4 riders for Team Alpha, part of that GCC competition as well, which means I think they're going to be looking to make sure that they are right up there in that competition as well. I think road racing team have got a strong team. Gus is Asenio, Natari and Cavajal. Cavajal's always shown himself strong. But the Danish Dynamite squad, Martin Hjorngard, Rud Nielsen, Mads Winter and Jakob Stranig, I think they could be right up there. But by the numbers, Strandvik should be their strongest rider. But is that going to be the case? Will we see Hjorngard be up there?
Well, I think we might. But for me, in this team competition, I think it's Cycling District 5.1, Lenador, Pulaka, Cirillo, Tapia and Hertz versus Level Avengers, Mukhtari, Zimil, Guevara, Warren and Warren. And I think they're going in against Level Up and Level Warriors. I think it's a level type of category.
Well, it's going to be an unlevel playing field for these riders today. Sorry. And there's a set of category 5. It'll leave the start line to my terrible puns as they make their way out on towards the course. It'll be a right then a left-hand turn that take them up towards the course proper. There's plenty of kicking the football uphill as well as chasing it downhill here. Will they be like a bunch of Sunday football players, or will they be the elite Premier League riders of the day? We will find out which team are going to have those superstars and who is going to be local league level.
Well, 82 riders on the start sheets in category 5, 14 teams, 3 youth riders in that under 23 competition. Interestingly, Gonzalez, part and parcel of BMC Rule 5, Tapia, part of Cycling District 5.1, and Joel Warren, part of the Level Avengers, in the same team as his dad, Ola Warren, who's part and parcel of that Masters competition.
And we would really dearly love to see into your pain caves, into your room where you are racing. So whether you are father and son, mother and daughter, whether you're individuals, or whether you're one of our superstar riders like Mohammed Mokhtari, do make sure you get those cameras lined up. Good to see you, sir. Looking very, very suave, ready for today's racing. We will see whether Mohammed Mokhtari looks so cool, calm and collected at the end of stage 7. He's followed those instructions. His riding name matching the name on screen and the name that he's put into that Zoom room. He's got that camera on landscape. He's made sure the auto rotate is on. If you are just joining us and you are racing, please, please, please do make sure you do that. We'd love to get that insight into just how hard you're working or how easy you're finding it, in fact. At the moment, the pace is on. At the moment, there is a big sprint kick currently coming already here in Category 5. Ben Kirk has clearly got itchy feet as he goes away. So Category 5 up and away. A quick reminder, there are green skin suits with a 5 on because those are the Masters category riders within Category 5. The key thing to identify category is the number that's on the back of the riders. It's not just a green skin suit for the sprint, although it is a slightly different colour.
It is indeed, but the pack now starting to stretch. Kirk not happy with the fact that all 82 riders had come out of the pen and were still in the same group. Rune Nielsen on our screens at the moment. A look of concentration on his face because the pace is hot at the moment. Nielsen having to respond at zone 5. This is a concerted effort to stay in the group here, and it's a concerted push on this early climb as they come towards the flat plateau that will take them towards the first climbing segment of the day.
And I'm going to show off my Danish skills here because I know that his jerseys there said in Danish, E-Cycling Club Denmark.
Excellent.
The fact that club was basically the only thing that was different, and that was a K, not a C, just shows just how poor my language skills really are.
Well, or how worldwide cycling esports really is.
It is indeed. Don't forget, of course, that the riders out and around the globe are racing. We've got riders racing in the middle of the night. We've got riders racing in the early hours of the day. We've got riders racing in the middle of the day. Jussi Pulakka, another of our Scandinavian riders, though, currently in Finland there, and Pulakka at the moment just looks like he's just sat on those tri-bars, actually, on the aero bars on the bike there by the position of his arms. Either that or he's just keeping super aero, but it's a great way to rest your body and not put energy in through your arm muscles, not burning up valuable oxygen, supporting your body. Really, really key.
Well, boo.
Oh, careful.
Yeah, I was watching. I was watching.
That wasn't just you freezing if you're at home watching.
No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, that did come from my thought process. But Painter, Castro, Gavaria, Mantier, Dotto, all in the mix. Mokhtari is there. So is Arseno and Ivanov. Garcés as well as, in fact, Juan Garcés is at the front of the pack with Ronald Erasmus at the moment. And they're on this transition. And I'll tell you something, nobody has been dropped from the group. Now, we saw that very different in the Category 6 race. We saw a big stretch on the group because of the early pace being so hot. Category 5, they've all come up the climb together. We don't have any riders distanced. So we have a large group of riders, a bit of a stretch on the group because the pace is strong. You want to be in the draft at this point on this flat section. You want to be at a lower power. You want to be holding a little bit of energy in reserve because very, very shortly we're coming to the first climb segment of the day. The Kyoto climb segment finishes at 4 kilometers. That tells you how short it is. Hal Lightwood on the screen at the moment, the Canadian rider right up at the front of this race.
Well, I think Hal Lightwood want to be. You really, really, really want to be. He want to be right at the front because that is the place to be, in with this group, but also holding position on the climb. The speed is still 36 kilometers an hour, so there is draft available. You can see Lightwood's numbers are in the green. He's in the draft, very focused there. You can underneath him as he keeps on tapping out that rhythm. Here as the climb really starts to bite 7%. Now it's going to go to just shy of 9 very quickly indeed. Here we are, 8.9 it peaks at. It's going to ease again and then kick once more around the corner. And now like we're just starting to drop back a little bit through the group. Up at the very front though, We are seeing a kick already to try and claim those first points in the mountains competition. All of our climbs today of the same category. They are all scored 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 points. When we move through the week into those bigger climbs, then the Hawk category climbs, for example, will score 15, 12, 10, 8, and 6 points. So a big increase as we move on to the bigger climbs. At the moment, though, this is for the lead. The gap has gone, and I tell you something, Mark Tong has got his climbing legs with him today. He put the right pair on this morning when he got up out of bed, climbing legs on. Climb points gained.
Well, Tong goes through in 1 in the category 5 race. That is the first set of points in the climbing competition done. It looks, I was just like looking at my screen and it was changing and updating as I was looking at it. These results on the webpage are live and constantly updated. Bruno Ordono is the rider going through in second, scoring 4 points. Jakob Strandvig scoring 3. Ola Warren picking up 2. And Luis Castro picking up 1 point in that first section of the climbing competition today.
And I make that group as they went in through 56 riders in the leading group, and then a couple of seconds to the second group of riders, about another 6 or 7 riders there. Almost in contact. You can just see that little group just off the back of the main pack on the top right hand side of your screen, where those discs are. The blue circles that represent each of our riders. Meanwhile, left-hand side of your screen, Category 6 leaders at the moment motoring along at 11.4k. They're only 1 kilometre off the Tokyo Sprint.
Well, they are indeed. And it's interesting, the Category 5 pack is really stretching. It's not coming back together again because they're on a descent and then they're into the next climb. Category 6, it's Marius Fossid on the front being challenged by Orlando Montoya. Montoya going up and over the top at the moment. The sprint checkpoint not coming till the 12.4 kilometre marker. This is an early run for that checkpoint.
I think it's an early run and maybe an ill-fated one, but we'll have to see if they can make that stick in that run to the next checkpoint. Meanwhile, down at the very first point our riders need to make, that's the start line. You can see that we've got Category 4 riders. The teams coming up on your screens, 12 teams in total. 12 teams in total. 1 team of 4, 11 teams of 5 riders. And once again, we're going to focus. I like focusing on the little guys. We're going to go for the smallest team, the 1 team with 4 riders, the Anunnaki squad. Jose Rodriguez, Frank Flores, I'll put my teeth back in, Daniel Largo, and Santiago Ramirez. 4 very, very strong riders. Of those, Rodriguez competing in the Masters competition. Emma, do you know what the Anunnaki is?
Well, they're sort of ancestors or gods, aren't they? There's a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, you know, whether they are from outer space and alien, or whether they are deities, or just the ancestors from a long time ago.
Could be the OGs, basically. The original greats.
Well, there we go. We are going to see whether Rodriguez, Flores, Largo and Ramirez can do the business. They are a stacked squad, actually.
Yeah.
They're really in, I think, with the team competition. I think Peak Power Racing, Van der Zandt, Wojciech, Montoya, Lynn and Rocker are a team to watch.
Yes.
Likewise, I think BMC Racing, Quiroz, Pino, Castano, Giuliano and Spratt. They, for me, have got to be really key.
Well, let's see if they can be up there. Can Spratt take another victory? He's been riding strongly on Sunday Race Club. It's time to go racing. It's Category 4, up and away. The red Category 4 jerseys mixed with those Masters jerseys in green with the number 4 on the back, denoting that Category 4 rider. Away they go. A very quick kick off from the line. Machado, the rider who has gone clear at the moment, kicks away, and Casa, Filo, Largo, Ioannis are all chasing at the moment. I think that was just a nervous kick, making sure that you didn't get left behind there. Machado, though, sees he's got the gap. He's kicking again, 5 watts per kilo just going in from him. He's going to keep the pace hot. We're getting a bit of a pattern starting to emerge today on stage 1, with that first checkpoint being at 4 kilometres, and with that climb starting so soon. Nobody's hanging around.
Well, and the race fields are so big. Luke Allport, we dropped down. He's resplendent in that Australian jersey, that kit. But Allport, part and parcel of the level champion squad with White, Groen, Rusumaki, Bradley, and Allport. We know Allport likes a fast race. We know he likes to dial it on the front, and we know he's really strong and he's very powerful as well. But the pace high now at 43 kilometres an hour, 800 metres in. They've got this up, they've got this rolling. This is about managing your effort, making sure you're in the group, making sure you're in the draft, exactly as Allport is. You can see that because his Watts numbers are in green, 248, if you are interested. And he's managing that effort. He's sitting at zone 3. He's not pushing deep into 4, 5, or 6, and he's staying with the move and covering it.
So, riders in category 4, category 5, and category 6 away. All part of the racing here on MyWhoosh. MyWhoosh, of course, available to ride free of charge, no subscription fee to jump on board and ride on MyWhoosh. If you've got a sort of very simple setup, you've got speed sensors on your bike and you ride on rollers, or you've got what's known as a dumb turbo trainer that doesn't register the power, just sensors on your bike that tell you the speed, you can go out and ride. You can go do the training workouts, but you can get a heart rate monitor, jump on board and ride in those group rides. Si Bradley, one of the coaches at MyWhoosh here today. Good to see Si. I know he's been stocking up with Habibi or Haribo, depending on where you are in the world as to what you've been using. I think Si's probably Haribo, if I know. So Si, one of our great coaches on MyWhoosh. You can join Si with his coaching sessions. And for those of you that were going to join him today, he's not there. He's here. So we've got Golden Boy himself,
Eric
Rimborg is actually covering Si's coaching session, but you can jump on and ride with Si, with some of the riders who are competing here, whatever kit you've got. If you've got a Super Smart Turbo Trainer and you've got a second power source and all the rules and all the things that you need to do to get onto our top level racing, then you can come and join James Robinson here in category 4. You could be racing on the climb. It's good to see James in action here today. You can see the door of the garage open there, just to let some light and some air in and hopefully get some air movement to cool him down. Jump on board. Come and ride with us. There's great racing from team time trials through to watt power races, right the way through to sprint races, world championship style races. We've got the world championship public qualifiers coming up as well, and Sunday Race Club each and every Sunday. You're a little late to get onto the start line for the MyWhoosh Championships for 2025, but download the app on iOS, on Android, and on Windows, on PC to get the latest version onto your computer, and you can come and be racing. Fantastic riding at the moment in category 4. 1 or 2 riders being dropped, but the pressure stretching this group in one long train of riders. It's not quite lined out, but it's pretty close at the moment.
Well, I can tell you the first starting category today, category 6, are through the first sprint section of the day. And the technical challenging parkour of this opening stage in Japan, where we go through the climbs and descents before we get to the first sprint, really playing havoc with that category 6 race field. As I said at the beginning, we had 93 riders come out of the start pen. By the top of the first climb, we were down to a lead group of 45. Through the first sprint, we're down to a lead group of 25.
So category 6, that first sprint being taken by Stefan Tigard, followed by Escobar, Steele, Milano and Mamba, the first point scorers in the sprints competition as they went out on course. Meanwhile, we're still back with category 4, in with Mika Rusumaki, and you can just see that bike on that smart turbo trainer there. So the back wheel taken out, connected to the turbo trainer, and that is a self-calibrated device. It basically automatically calibrates. Nothing you can touch on there to be able to alter that. All of the riders have that power source plus a second power source. Those are then matched and checked along with the rider's stats and data. The verification process, absolutely world class, and leading our riders to know that they are up against real riders, putting real performances in and lots of specialists in cycling esports putting out numbers that put World Tour road pros to shame.
Yeah, there's a really good article actually by Kate Tridgen on the Zimmunique site about that specific subject, Matt. Anybody can head over there and take a look. But the verification, really interesting, because it's not just about FTP. We hear so much about FTP in cycling, but it's not just about that. It's also about creating a profile for each rider, whether that's their ability on the sprints versus the climbs versus the flats, looking at their pedaling action, being able to tell whether a different rider is riding the same setup because of that type of information. They really are now verifying riders by creating a real individual power profile across a wide spectrum of data points.
So that individual passport will show that our lead rider, Dexter Abello, very good on those explosive efforts, particularly uphill. You can see he's just claimed top spot there ahead of Mohamed El Alami, followed by Busha Shkai, along with Quiros and I think Buchowski. We're just going to get a double check on those climber positions. Here we go. Abello taking top spot, 5 points, takes the lead and gets that polka dot skin suit ahead of El Alami, Buchta, along with Chris and Quiros. In fact, so Juan Quiros taking away 5th spot, the last point position. In terms of teams, Cycling District putting ahead riders in 4.1. The Cycling District 4.1 team with Abello, Cycling District 4 with Alami. They've got the first 2 places. Then it's the Black Horses squad with Buchta, then Shai with the BMC Ducks, BMC Racing. We've got Kuros, and then we're on to Black Horses, the Anaki, Cycling District 4.1. It's such a mix of riders and teams.
It is indeed, but take a look at the stretch on the group at the top of the right-hand corner of your screen as we hit this descent now. There's around 46 riders in that leading group, and look at the stretch on it. It could make more, it could split, and I think it's actually going to split on this descent at the moment. That's what it's potentially looking like. We've got another big group of riders in category 4 further back down the road, but for me right now, I think we're going to end up around 40 riders in the lead group.
And as you come descending down here, you can see the Formula 1 cars on the left-hand side shooting round back on the motor racing circuit. We go underneath grandstands. We dip down here. We go into a second section of the climb, and this almost mirrors the last part of the climb that we've just ascended, and that is the Kyoto climb. So it doesn't count as a climb competition part of the course, but it is going to be as, if not more decisive, because it's the second time the riders have to put in that kind of effort within the space of a few seconds. So really, really important how those riders go in category 4, the next section too. Next riders away, well, they're still on the start line waiting to go. Category 3 now are waiting to head out. We've got 9 teams taking to our start line in Category 3. We've got 2 teams of 4 riders, 7 teams of 5 riders here today. And they are an absolutely power-packed set of riders who are in our teams today. The teams with 4 riders, Cycling District 3 with Coimbra, Andrade, Mida and Brignall. We've also got La Mafia, which is Cond, Dutton, Dominguez and Haggerty. La Mafia squad, the family.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant set of riders. And I think a real mix of skills. And Joshua Haggerty, although by the numbers, in theory, might be their weakest rider, I think actually he could be their strongest rider come the end of the racing. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how those individual riders perform within that team, as well as how that team of 4 go. Cycling District, another big squad from the Portuguese organised Cycling District team, who do a brilliant job of putting teams on the start lines of so many races.
Yeah, they do. They are absolutely brilliant. But for me, do you know what? The gold grabbers, Sladek, Diduch, Van Velgem, Kochkov and Kalman, they for me have got to be one of the strongest squads in Category 3. I think Level Golden, Backen, Lane, Morgan, Rushmore and Solly could go strongly, take that Mafia, Batty, Fournier, Karlstrom, Mayer and Tidholm, or indeed take this Kansara, Squilari, Holweiler, Oya and Ridley. Those are my 4 teams for the top.
So 4 teams for the top from Emma, 7 teams getting prizes, 9 teams taking to the start line. Away we go in Category 3. I have to say the Category 3 teams may well have the best name of any team in the competition, full stop. the best name, Guardians of the Peloton.
Da, 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 da.
I just think it's a brilliant name.
It is absolutely brilliant.
And it's got some great riders. Henry East, Conrad Fenderich, John Brune, Rafael Amaro, and Dorvan Ellos. I actually think that could be the team to take top spot.
Well, whether they are guarding the peloton or whether they are the one and only guardians who are always in the right place, it does indeed wait to be seen. David Buddle on our screen at the moment, one of the riders in Category 3. Great to see him in the mix. We've got a nice mix of riders, you know, which is absolutely fabulous to see because we've got a number of young riders in the peloton under 23, of which David is one of them. Really good to see. And it's going to be a really strong competition in Category 3, actually. 8 youth riders. David Buddle on our screen, Aidan Sinclair. We've also got Liam Underwood here. We've got Josh Power. We've got Rodrigo Combra, and we've got Ibrahim Alfrey as well. And then Niall Batty is also an under 23 rider.
So that Espoir category, that under 23 youth category, playing out across the whole of the race here today. The stage race. There is stage 1 today that rolls right the way through the 8 days. The rest day for our riders, well, that comes on a Sunday, where we normally see Franklin Almeida in action on the Sunday race. So nice shot there of Franklin, and I'm loving the fact super smooth on the bike there, tapping out the rhythm here as they make their way along, and he's looking really good here. I have to say, I always like it when a rider's got a nice pedaling position, doesn't move about, not rocking them all over the place, doesn't look like a nodding donkey, just super smooth, cool, calm, collected. One of my favourite riders of all time, Maurizio Fondris, used to practice his riding on the rollers where you're not held up. You have to be able to put the power in. And he used to do speed drills on the rollers in front of a mirror to perfect being smooth and controlled whilst doing 140 revs a minute.
Can we just say a nodding donkey is not an animal?
It is. Donkeys nod.
Well, donkeys do nod, but a nodding donkey is also a piece of equipment used for drilling oil.
That's true.
And that is where it continually nods.
You don't want to be either of those two. Good to see Matthias Kalman. Matthias, good to see you back onto the bike, the Kalman household, putting in phenomenal performances already today. So the pressure on Matthias here, there's an inter-household prize. I think whoever's comes higher doesn't have to do the washing up for the next 6 weeks or so, or maybe until the next Sunday Race Club. Matthias in action here. You can just see a quick change of the gears there as they make their way over the bridge on this 5% nearly gradient, heading on to the second section of this climb here today, currently at 2.2k into the course. This takes us to that flat platform section before they go up on to the climb from there. Let's see who is going to have the power, the pace, the speed to take the first points and prizes of the day here today. Points make prizes. That's really key in the sprint competition, in that climbs competition. And this is going to be our first climbing checkpoint. It comes at 4 kilometers. So we're over halfway distance to that in category 3. 6 race categories up for grabs. These are decided based on ability. The dynamic categorization that you see on the Sunday Race Club applying here today to give fair racing to everybody, dividing those race categories between all levels of ability. So whether you are the future superstar of esports cycling or you're somebody just starting out on your journey, there's going to be a category for you. Do jump on board. Do come and join the riders. We always love to see new riders, and do get in touch. You can get hold of Emma on Instagram. It's at biking_Emma. You can catch up with me at Matt Fixerpain on Instagram as well. We'd love to get those messages. Thank you all the riders who've been in touch. Both Emma and myself absolutely inundated with riders and their communication. Honestly, don't ever think that we get too many. It doesn't happen. We can never have too much information coming in. Emma and myself, professional commentators across cycle sport, across multiple disciplines. And I have to say, probably the best at getting in touch are our esports cyclists.
Yes. I was going to say which ones they were very closely followed by, but I didn't.
Go on.
Mountain bike eliminator riders.
Yes.
I have a really good chat going on with them as well.
Yes.
But two close-knit families, and that's what I think is the close thing about them, or the similar thing about them, because the esports community, a close-knit community, the mountain bike eliminator community, also very close-knit.
You can catch up with the latest action actually in that mountain bike eliminator racing. We were on the mic Sunday evening, and you can catch up that on YouTube as well as the MyWhoosh feed. That's at City Mountain Bikes channel on there for the mountain bike eliminator. And for me, one of the other similarities is that repeatable efforts, because riders have to put in repeated efforts. And that's for me where when we move from category 6 to 5 to 4 to category 3, the ability to put big power down repeatedly really shows. Riders like Niall Batty, we know that when we go uphill, he's going to be able to put that down, but he can do it again and again and again. So can Stemmen. Interesting, David Badil, the rider that we were just in with, the other young rider here in that under-23 competition, marking Niall Batty here. The under-23 riders coming to the fore. Stemmen is there. Kowalski is there as well. Look at this big kick coming from Brood as well. Batty's going to try and hold on to this to the line. Oh, so tight on the line there. Kowalski, I think, has just taken it. We're going to have to look at those split times on the climb there.
Yeah,
to
Kowalski
confirm
takes it. Kowalski takes the first climbing checkpoint of the day in category 3. Niall Batty picks up the 4 points for second place. Wangarin takes third. Adam Stenman takes fourth with 2 points. And John Brune, Guardians of the Peloton, picks up 1 point.
But very interestingly here, the first rider, Kowalski, coming through, came through in 42nd position. All of the leaders in category 4 went through that checkpoint with a faster time from start gate to checkpoint than the leader and the first rider in category 3. So faster riding from the category 4 riders to that point than category 3. Category 3 taking it, I think, steadier early on and then more explosive.
Yes, and for our new viewers to the MyWhoosh Championships, that is perfectly normal, that we get 6 different races out of the start pens from categories 1 through to category 6. Each of those race fields do not have to race the race with the same tactics and the same strategy. And that's why we see some of the later starting pelotons riding slower earlier on and going through those early checkpoints perhaps slower than some of the earlier starting categories. Well, waiting down in the start pen are a whole load of green jerseys, because that is category 2, all 72 riders. For me, I can hardly split these teams.
There's so many teams, 13 teams taken to the start line, 1 team of 3, 3 teams of 4, 9 teams of 5 riders. The team with the least riders is DMH. However, we have Mohammed Al Case, a rider who showed his speed, strength, and skill in the GCC Stage Race Championships. Absolutely flying in that competition. Al Case, a very strong rider. Damian Kiesnowski, proven winner and podium rider on MyWhoosh, and Hassan Sultan, a rider who again is regularly pushing inside those top 5s and can take a good climb and really make the group suffer. For me, 3 very strong riders in that team of 3, the only team of 3 out of those 13 teams.
Yeah, well, for me, out of the 13 teams, I think 6 are in for a chance with the win, and I can't split them. For me, it's Abus Esports, Halen, Van Hee, Carvajal, Simmons, and Kalman. It is the GOAT squad, Burke and Khan Kane, Peter Milostic, Maciej Mendakowicz and Jonas Bjarhead. What a squad. Maple Baguette Express, Godzari, Bjorklund, Gombe, Havo and Guerra. They are going to go well, I know. The Smarties, Bengston, Damsgaard, Ritter, Walter and Theme. Goodness me, I don't know about Smarties. My favourite one was always orange, but they are phenomenal. The Hitmen, Fawcett Miller, Koisten and Trajanowski, and of course the UAE clan team that have been strengthened by Nuki and Graves. I think there's 6 for the top. Well, they could well prove me wrong in 8 days' time. We are going to see. But Category 2 are up and out of the start pen. We're in with Luca Giamami at the moment. Kisnowski is there. Kiddle is there. Khan and David Don, Trujillo, Downs, Guerra. Tatu Coinston is in the mix. Mohamed Al Case is right up there. Patrick Bloom, Bennett, Cooper, Massa. They are all at the top of the tree. This is Category 2. Fast and furiously up to speed. The pack are rolling out of the pen.
So Category 2 up and away. Alcasa leading them for that DMH squad. This is Category 2, our penultimate race category. Hundreds and hundreds of riders taking to the start line. If you are heading in to a wash, don't forget, of course, we'll be covering all 6 race categories. Lots of race distance today, 57.1k to try and cover as much as we can across all of those race categories. Our last category, Category 1, with those big famous esports names in there, and for me that is going to be a real battle, almost as much as a battle that we're going to see in some of our subcategories. I think in Category 2 it's not just about that GC competition, is it? We've got other categories and other battles unfolding out on the race field.
Well, we do indeed, and we're in with Patrick Bloom at the moment. He's part and parcel of the front of the pack. But let's just talk about some of those other competitions. There are 8 youth riders under 23s in Category 2. That is going to be really close. But the one I think we need to watch, and the one I think is going to be a real battle royale here, is the Masters competition in Category 2. 5 riders hit the Masters criteria of being 45 plus. Apologies if I am going to name you and out you as a Masters rider, but I cannot wait to watch this unfold. Ika Morel is a Master. Peter Milostic, Jonas Bjarhead, X100, and SS. And for any of you who regularly tune in on MyWhoosh and watch the elite racing, all 5 of those riders regularly in the mix. That is going to be one phenomenal battle. I was going to say sub battle because, but then I realised and remembered that any of those riders could very well make the top 10 or top 5 day after day after day. So it may well not be a sub battle. It may be a very prominent battle.
It may indeed. Just in with Mr. X100 at the moment. One of the real original greats out on MyWhoosh, who is leading the UAE clan team. Now, this is a team that we see week in, week out at the front of the racing, but they have brought in reinforcements this week. Oh my goodness, have they ever. Mr. X100 and SS, who are two of their most regular riders for that UAE clan team, both absolute stars. They've been joined by a long-time opponent, in fact, Phil Graves, who has battled them for a long time, but also a rider who knows them well, Ivan Nuki, the coach based in Hudayrat Island. That is going to be really interesting to see how he gets on. He's a phenomenal climber. And one of our young riders, Mohamed Mutawai of the UAE clan team, going to be really, really interesting to see what happens as that plays out, because you've got experience with our Masters riders, SS and Mr. X100, aging Phil there slightly, Mr. X100 and SS. You've got Phil Graves in here, great long distance triathlete, a rider with the pace to stay long. Nuki, who can climb like an absolute demon, brilliant to see him in action, and a great rider and motivator as well. And Mohamed Matoue, young, super talented rider.
Well, talking about a talented rider, we have Takasuki on our screens at the moment, right at the front of this Category 2 race. They're at the 2.7 kilometre marker. They're coming towards the climb, and it's the first climb of the day. Now, the Kyoto climb, they go up it 3 times. This time, not in its entirety. It is a 3-stepped climb. They're just doing 2 of the steps after they come out of the start pen. And really key to see here, this Category 2 pack, just 1 or 2 riders, distance a little bit off the back of the pack, but SS is there, Stella Bennett is there, Skierski, Kaplinski, Cooper, Manchando, Massa, all in the mix. They are steady state riding at the moment, zone 2, zone 3, as they come in towards the climb.
steady state. There's some riders chasing, blowing chunks at the back there. They are absolutely in bits. You can see one or two riders really struggling. Part of the reason that that's happening, once you lose the draft of the group, once you get outside that 5 meter zone and you are out in the wind, when you're on your own, you've so much work to do to get in. You need it to hit the climb to be able to put down that power and for the draft not to take as much effect. But the speed these riders are traveling at, 36 kilometers an hour onto the climb, carrying that momentum forward, it's going to be still the case that drafting takes effect. You in there, phenomenal, over 600 watts coming down from Moritz Ritter. Massive kick at 7-8 watts per kilo there as he put down that punch. Olivier Simmons moving up towards the front as well. Simmons, oh my goodness, he is a wind machine. He is so dangerous. He's a rider. You don't want to get it down the road, but you also don't want to sprint with him. A real all-rounder. Good to see, as you said, Takasugi in here. He's been riding so strongly, and Takasugi here nicely pushing up inside that top 10. This is about taking points in that climb competition, but it's also about not being distanced. If a gap goes, if a break goes, at the front though, Alvarado pushing on from Xiaomi. Adrian Alvarado goes over the line. He's going to claim that polka dot skin suit. He's going to pull that onto his shoulders. Xiaomi is going to take second place. I think Takasugi, then Simmons, then Kankayan in that order over the line. I stand to be corrected though, because there's such a huge group coming through, and now it's about pushing on and making that really tell.
Well, it was indeed Adrian Alvarado who goes over the top in one, picking up 5 points. Luca Grimini picks up 4. Takasugi picks up 3 points. Simmons picks up 2 points. And Kankayan picks up 1 point in that competition. Interestingly, the Category 2 pack pretty much rolling to that point at the same pace as the Category 4 pack. Let's just remember, Category 4 were on fire.
They were absolutely dialing it from the start. No tactical holding back of pace. They weren't saving it for the good stuff. They were out there up at the front of the race and putting down the pressure all the way through. You might hear the phrase save it for the good stuff a few times over the course of the next week. We're going for the subliminal advertising version of that. Slightly more subtle than Peter Sagan in the advert. Got to say, absolute. We had the pleasure of meeting Peter Sagan in the commentary box, as well as Tadej Pogacar down at the MyWhoosh HQ after the World Championships for 2024. Both absolutely brilliant. I gotta say, Peter Sagan not afraid to take the mickey out of himself. A man with a very entertaining sense of humour for sure. Both really nice guys, and great to have the honour of meeting them and talking with them in HQ. Real superstars of cycling. Well, we've got our real superstars of cycling esports about to get ready to start, because Category 1, these are the names you all know. If you've been watching the Sunday Race Club, you watch Cycling Esports World Championships, because these are the big guns that are coming out to fire. You can see that we have 8 teams on the start list today. 1 team of 3, 2 teams of 4, and 5 teams of 5. Our team of 3: Yunsei Honda, Peter Trzynski, and Patrick Stepanek of the Cycling District 1 squad. That's the Portuguese organised squad. Alpha Joel represented by Jones, Vujasin, Churek, and Kaminski. You've also got, with 4 riders, Boss Moves only: Michael Vink, previous winner of this stage race; Michael Nussen, regular winner and podium rider on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club; Saeed Safrazadi, winner on-road, off-road and on Cycling Esports; and a certain Jason Osborne, twice world champion at Cycling Esports and the current world champion, of course.
Yes, but you do have others in the mix, and there are some great teams here. You know, I don't think this is a given. I think when you look at the start sheets, you think Boss Moves only have got to dominate this, and probably I would agree with that. But, and I am going to put a big but in place, the riders have to finish. Alpha Jaw for me is a strong squad. Jones, Vujasin, Churek and Kaminski. Do not discount a Synergy. That's a phenomenal team. Wu has been riding his socks off. Van Elst and Tugels have been riding strongly as well. They've got Power and Paradians in the mix. The other squad for me, I think, are going to be in the mix is the Farm Watts squad, because Harris, Noren, Puckett, Nair and Andreasen, day after day after day after day, are going to be consistent. The other thing for me here is the youth competition. And we'll talk about it when these riders are out of the pen, because the future of cycling esports is seriously bright.
Well, it's going to be bright with a B for a big bang of a big explosion on the way out from the start line. Category 1, our elite category, the top of the tree, are out. Our final set of riders away on stage 1 of the MyWhoosh Championships, that $1 million prize fund allocated across all of our race categories. But category 1, they are going to be taking away the biggest prize pot at the end of the racing. Let's see who is going to take this out. Will it be, as some people say, Jason Osborne, who is a lot of people's favourite, including Christoph Constant on the chat at the moment? Or will it be past winners Michael Vink scalping Osborne in the Sunday Race Club recently? And very different profiles. Woo right up there also challenging the riders. And of course, the team competition is going to be just as important, because it may be that riders have to sacrifice some of their personal ambition for the team competition, because that's where the big prize money is.
It is. And, the strength and the depth of the Boss Moves Only squad is one of those real big things, because they've got riders they can put up the road and then do a 1-2, even a 1-2-3, and just keep going over the top. For me, though, what I need to say is, well, we've got Kel Power on our screen at the moment, part of that ABA Synergy squad, who we said were going to be part and parcel of the top force teams. But for me, what I wanted to talk about was the youth riders here in this category. We've got 4 youth riders in this category. And for me, bearing in mind this is the elite category 1, they are under 23 riders. And that's why I say the future is bright for cycling esports, because Yunsei Honda is an under 23 rider. Hayden Pucker, the champion of the USA, is an under 23 rider. Paul Skierski, the rider from Poland, is an under 23 rider. And Linda Milostic, second in the Australian Championships, is an under 23 rider, and possibly our youngest rider in the entire competition at 18. It's phenomenal that all 4 of those riders are going to battle it out for that youth competition here in category 1. And well, there have already been some of those on the world stage at the finals of the World Championships in Abu Dhabi last year. The under 23 riders, both in the men's and the women's competition, show us a bright future for this sport.
I would agree entirely with that. The discipline of cycling esports, all part of the disciplines covered by the UCI, and I'm sure there are plenty of those cycling disciplines that would dearly love to have not just the talent but the commitment that we see from our young riders here on MyWhoosh week in, week out. And it's a chance to show what they can do on a repeated effort on a multi-day stage race. Can they match up to the reputation of SS in category 2? He's at the moment off the front of this group, currently at 9 kilometers, and that means that they're up and over the top of the mountains, the Kyoto climb, followed by the second of our climbs. That Kyoto climb, absolutely key here today. Category 2 are flying. Alvarado taking the top spot. SS at that time, well, he was buried a little bit further down in the pack, 26th timed rider over the line, but that does include a number of category 4 riders in that total. So in the leading group of category 2 at the time, going clear on that descent and looking to make it hard for everybody else.
Well, and I also think this is a long-range run for the first sprint checkpoint at the 12.4 kilometre marker. I know they're some way out at 9.7, but if you can get the momentum rolling on this descent, and we're seeing SS dig deep when the gradient gets really steep, almost sprinting to get the momentum and the pace up. If he can carry that through to the Tokyo sprint, he's going to pick up that first set sprint points today.
And the UAE clan team do have the reputation of riders who are able to use the momentum well, because they've spent a lot of time on the platform and learning how it rides and how it feels. It's one of those things, isn't it? You've got to get the time, you've got to get the race time on. You've got to get the race time in. If you want to be good at anything, you've got to do a lot of hours on it, at it, whether that is commentating, riding, TV production, washing up, not necessarily cooking, baking, or creating anything edible, because I'm clearly, no matter how many hours I do that, food poisoning on our rust.com is me. But I have to say, generally, for most things, you've got to put the hours in. And if you want to be really, really good, it's not just the hours doing the basics, but it's also then fine tuning where to put things like your power down on the on those descents in that momentum, where to put in the pace and the power, where to rest, where to sit in the group. When those splits go, what does it look like? What does it feel like as riders start to push? Where can you ease off?
I'm going to put my academic hat on for a minute.
Okay.
Because there was some research done on how many hours of work you needed to put in to become an expert in any skill, whether that would be woodwork or bike racing. And Gladwell, who is the author of said book, should anybody want to look it up, refers to the 10,000 hour rule, asserting that the key to achieving true expertise in any skill is simply a matter of practicing, albeit in the correct way, for at least 10,000 hours. I once examined a PhD that went up against that theory.
And did it end up agreeing with it? What was the outcome?
Well, the author of the PhD disagreed with the 10,000 hour rule.
Okay, but no conclusion as to who was right.
Well, no, it's academic debate.
We shall leave Professor Emma Martin. She is a real professor. It's not just a title we give her. She is indeed a professor and a doctor, as well as an academic, to her numbers. As the numbers show, number one rider in Category 1, looking to claim the first points, sprinting clear of the bunch, the world champion, Jason Osborne, leading the race over the first checkpoint behind Jones, Panizza, Vajassin, Dont, Kroll, and Harris coming through. But that move by Osborne almost sailing away with ease. The boss moves only rider, the world champion Jason Osborne, claims the first points. 5 points on that climbs competition ahead of Ollie Jones taking 4, Ricardo Panizza taking 3, Lionel Vujassin taking 2, and Ruben Dont taking 1. Quick reminder, Jason Osborne not only has done his 10,000 hours on cycling esports, 10,000 hours probably out on the bike on the road at NX World Tour Pro, but also 10,000 hours because he's a silver medalist at the Olympics rowing.
Yes, multi-skilled.
Indeed, that's a lot of hours. Don't have much time for much else. Don't get sleep, clearly. That's a lot of 30.
Well, I think he will get sleep because sleep is all about recovery, isn't it?
It is. So, Jason Osborne leading in the house on the road. Nice view of the rainbow jersey from Jason. We're going for a different view of Jason, although this is the view most people get of Jason most of the time on the bike. Jason, nice to see you back, buddy. We have seen your face. We met Jason. He's one of the really nice guys in cycling esports. Emma, you've interviewed him and you've talked with him on the Virtual Velo podcast that you host along with Chris Wanker. That episode with Jason, really insightful, really a really brutally honest interview about him coming out of the World Tour professional scene and moving across into the ranks of esports and choosing that and why he did so, without causing people not to bother going back and listening, which I would suggest everybody
does. I would go back and listen because I mean, one of the things I loved
give us a taste of it.
Well, one of the things I loved about when we talked to Jason on the Virtual Velo podcast was he's open, he's real, he's honest, he says it as it is. And if you really want to lift the lid on the transition between cycling esports and road, there's a whole communication and conversation around talent development and whether cycling esports is a discipline in its own right or a talent spotting identification system for the road. Again, Ollie Jones, part and parcel of that too. But Osborne really opens up and talks about the nature of what goes on, and it is a brilliant, brilliant interview. Ollie Jones also been on the Virtual Velo podcast, and Ollie Jones also a phenomenal rider, and one I think who is really going to be in the mix here day after day after day. And he is part and parcel of that Alpha Jaw squad, and he's been riding so strongly recently.
Certainly has. Fantastic to see him in action, looking so strong out on the Sunday Race Club as well as racing on the road. Just taking a little bit of a look at the times for Ollie Jones. Ollie Jones, what position, what without cheating and looking on your screens, Emma, and searching for it, at the Kyoto climb, where do you think Ollie Jones was in the overall scheme of things across all of our race entries at the top of the Kyoto climb?
Oh, I think Category 1 had quite a fairly steady start in comparison to some of the other categories. I would go about 58th.
108th.
Well, there we go. I was a little bit out.
108th.
But they had a fairly steady start.
I think it just shows. And in fairness, they are packed above between him and Osborne in terms of positions. But it does show you Category 1 saving that energy for when they need it. Now, Tomoki Takasugi really pushing on here.
Yeah, he is indeed. And we're back in with Category 2. And we've got 2 riders clear at the moment. They're at the 14.5 kilometre marker. They've gone over the Kyoto climb for the first time. They've gone through the Tokyo sprint for the first time. They're heading towards the Kyoto climb for the second time. Now, this is the full climb this time. All 3 stages of it, 3 steps. It's only the top step that is part and parcel of the climbing checkpoint. But that checkpoint coming towards the end of that section at the 23.4 kilometre marker. And that's where Category 2 are heading at the moment. Takasugi right on the front of that group, but only by a couple of seconds. We drop back in with Category 1, in with Honda on our screen at the moment. Refueling options and hydration options and carbohydrate options are available in their many different types. We're going to see lots of different things in people's pain caves, giving you an insight into their fueling strategies.
And a long time ago, a flat with all the fizz taken out cola of some description was a fueling choice by many because of the caffeine and the sugar in there, and a way to refuel. I have to admit, I've done that myself. I am old enough to remember when this was high tech on the way through. But even then, I mean, the pros are doing that. If
Final lap of a mountain bike race.
Yeah, if you were passing up a drink to a professional rider because they didn't want anything that was contaminated, you would pass them up, if you weren't on their team, a can of seal can of fizzy drink because they knew that nobody had been messing about with it. They knew that they were safe to take that and to drink that. And that is one of the things I remember. I think we passed up my record at any one point was 28 of them.
Well, there are more than 28, 29 riders in this Category 2 race at the moment. They've just gone through, they've been through the Tokyo sprint. And at that point, it was Olivier Simmons who led them out from Maciej Skierski. Matthew Sanchez, Martin Matheson and Mikel Menchando were the top 5 riders, picking up points. But do you know what? The group is big. The group is strong. But there were around 8 riders who'd gone clear by about 4 seconds from that group to push on. I'm thinking that group, I can see that group all starting to come back together again.
And now I was just taking a little look in Category 2 is where Takasugi was in terms of that sprint. He wasn't on the way through that sprint. He wasn't right up there, but then attacked over the top, looking to break this racing up. And I think that's going to be a tactic here that's being used by Trzecinowski, really looking to split the groups apart, really looking to accelerate through and to do some damage on the way through. And exciting riding we expect from Marcin Trzecinowski. It's certainly a rider you wouldn't want to take to a race finish because we know he's got a great sprint. He's a rider who's good at riding on the limit all day and then finding something extra on that final kick to the line.
Yes, absolutely. And he's also a great punchy rider. So I think on these early stages, he could really well come to the fore, the Polish rider, because they are punchier stages, the first 3 stages. I think when we get to stage 4 and stage 5, when we head to Zurich and Japan, and we really get into those mountain stages, I'm not sure we're going to see so much of Trojanowski, but definitely for the first 3 stages, they suit him down to the ground.
So those are rolling ruler type stages kicking off the racing. This is stage 1 for the men, following on from stage 1 for the women on the MyWhoosh Championships. The 7th stage over 8 days race. The rest day available for riders to ride on the Sunday Race Club if they choose to do so. The riders, though, can use that as a qualifying round to go into our finals as well. If they need to, if they want to take that as a rest day instead. All the riders in the race subject to verification to minimum standards for their turbo trainer or smart trainer, minimum standards for their second power meter, as well as, of course, for that performance. And the need to get a power passport. That's check, the verification check, and the way in which the riders, or part of the way that the riders are sent into categories, which is on the way in and through. Live results as you get them. The place to go, that is really simple. Go to www.mywhoosh.com If you go on there, you go to results on the main menu, and you then need to find the stage race of the MyWhoosh Championship. You can go from there into the links for the women's and the men's race, and that has the results on the way through for the stage ranking, which is where we're at the moment, and then the general ranking as well. So, for example, you can see that our Category 6 riders at the moment out on course at 39.7k have just gone over the top of the Tokyo climb number 3. In Category 6, as they went over the top, it was Orego from Toro, from Steele, from Fossiade, as they went over the top of that climb competition. The last of those climb points allocated out at that point.
Yeah, 17 riders in the leading group in Category 6 at that point. Just a couple of seconds back, though, Maillard, Vaz or Truba to make that 23. Then Marin and Mamba, well, the gap was a fair bit bigger. You can see that clearly on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Main big bunch, around 17 riders, then a gap back to 2 or 3, and then another gap back to the third group on the road.
And as they make their way up on this section, this is actually the penultimate big climb. Not a climb segment, but a climb. Just in with Peter Cridlin. You can see him in person on the left with that polka dot casquette. Peter Cridlin has a selection of casquettes. I'm quite jealous, actually, of the volume of casquettes and waving away. We will do a selection at some point of waves back in the studio here today. But that hat, that casquette, a key important part. I find it very handy when I'm riding on the turbo. I have to admit.
My question is, did he get the polka dot casquette whilst watching the Tour de France, or did he pick it up in a shop?
Peter, if you are listening, put your thumbs up if you got it in a shop. Thumbs. Oh, it's gone. Sorry, you won't get the question. We can't see. You will just have to guess. Or maybe Peter will be in touch. Don't forget, you can get in touch with us at Matt Fix Paint or at biking_Emma. So Category 6 now going over the top of their penultimate climb, dropping down. They'll go to the checkpoint at Tokyo Sprint, the final checkpoint, and then into the finish. Meanwhile, Category 2, Olivier Simmons, the prolific sprint winner with the ice vest on, in person on the left of your screen. On the right-hand side with the green sprint jersey. Another rider looking to add to sprint points in. Ruben Dont kicks off away from the front of the group here. Dont goes through, gains maximum points that time around. Just waiting for these riders to go through. It looks to me like he's going to take away the sprint's lead at the moment. He's just gone through the 12.4k sprint marker. That is the checkpoint number 1.
Well, can I just tell you, Ruben Dont does indeed go through first across the line on the Tokyo Sprint checkpoint. It's the first sprint checkpoint of the competition from the natural born grillers. The grillers who are going to be grilling it off the front of the pack, I think, because Neil Freyert, Dont's teammate, in second. Paul Skierski, Freyert and Dont's teammate, in third. 3 grillers on the front. Panizza in 4 picks up 2 points, and Jasper Paradians from Aber Synergy picks up 1. I love that. I'm grilling it off the front.
Yeah, you see, you get grilling and cooking. I get grillers as in gorillas.
No, they're grilling it off the front.
I know. And I know what it's a pun on, a natural born, whatever. But absolutely brilliant to see that they are already done in this race. Whilst I sing Disney songs in my head from movies, it was actually orangutan who was singing that song. The leaders on the road at the moment, Hayden Pucker going over the top.
Yeah, it is
putting
indeed.
The pressure on.
Pucker is putting the pressure on at the moment and pushing on those pedals. It's a flat section before we see the descent into what is the Kyoto climb for the second time. Currently 33 riders on the front group of the Category 1 race. Yunsei Honda is the rider just getting distanced off the back, and you can see that on the screen in the top right-hand corner. But Pucker settling in Jones, Kroll, Kaminsky, Osborne, Turek, Dont, Paradian, Skierski, Safrazadi and Milostic, all in that group.
So Category 1 leaders on the left of your screen, Category 6 leading group right-hand side of your screen there. They are continuing to push on as we go in with Category 5 at the top of their last climb check, the Kyoto climb checkpoint. Maz Vinther pushing over the top here with Fabian Tapia. They're not going to take away the sprint lead from stage 1. Bruno Ordono has taken that. He scored enough points across the first two climbs across climb number 1, 2, and then into climb 3 to have those points added together and to take away the top prize in that competition. Great riding by him. So we're going to see if he can continue to push on from there.
Well, interesting to see the push coming on, and you can see the checkpoint scorers in that Category 5 race. And it is Bruno Ordano who picks up the 5 points from Luis Castro, who picks up 4. Nicholas Hagland picks up 3. James Mountier picks up 2. And Jussi Polaka, who we were in with earlier on, the Finnish rider, picks up 1 point that time.
So our runners continue to push on in Category 5. Category 6, the furthest riders down the road have not yet been caught and are really riding well, I think, at the moment. Category 6 at the moment, currently approaching that Tokyo sprint checkpoint and heading out beyond there. And you've just seen Category 5 chasing behind. Chasing behind them are Category 4 and 3. And then Category 2 at the moment, Mistakes 100, putting in a breakaway, really ripping this up. The UAE clan team are wanting to make this racing hard today. I don't think they want to give anybody an easy ride today. Let's go out, make it hard from the gun. Let's see who's done their preparation, who's done the work, who is going to be able to push and to be able to make this work on day 1 and set themselves up for a good day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Well, I think it's really interesting because X100 has gone down the road, SS has gone down the road. Both of those riders from the UAE clan team. Ivan Nuki, part and parcel of that squad, he's going to come into play, I think, when we do the big mountain stages. He's such a strong climber. Phil Graves, we've often seen him go out hard for an hour and then pretty much sit up. So if they want to send anybody down the road, that is going to be the key rider to go.
I'm going to be really interested to see what he can do on that time trial stage.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when we go to the time trial stage, which is our penultimate day of racing, I think that you are going to see those riders who've been working hard in the mountains competition, in the overall competition, then having a rest day, going into a time trial day. So you've got big climbs, you've got real race efforts, you then get a rest day which mucks about with everybody pretty much. Then you've got this time trial stage where you are getting no draft. It's an individual effort. No draft skills are going to work. They're going to get all be on TT bikes that are equal as are all the bikes on MyWhoosh. And then you've got to put that TT effort in. Phil Graves is a master time trialist. She's beat me in time trials, even when I was going really well. And I was right up on podiums. If Phil came out to play, you knew you were going down a place.
Well, let's just put it this way. There are a lot of world-class triathletes here racing the MyWhoosh Championships who, for them, the business is the individual time trial.
Yes, we will see whether Phil is going to be able to do the business, whether it be one of his teammates. Will he be put into team orders on the climbs to the point where those legs aren't working by that penultimate day? Meanwhile, Category 6, left-hand side, Alan Steele going out to try and steal a march on everybody else. This is a big move by Steele here. You can see sprinting away here. And at the moment, Alan Steele has got a gap of 3 seconds to Toro Fossi and Tiger, and they're looking at each other, I think, here. There's not a concerted chase going on. It is for sprint points. If he can make it to 46.1k, it is. It's even further to our race finish at 57.1. But this is a brave move. Absolutely, caskets off, hats off to Steele for going hard so early.
Well, the air conditioning unit in the back of behind Nathan Guerra at the moment, we're seeing him on our screen. They're heading at the 23.2 kilometre marker. This is up the Kyoto climb, the full climb for the first time. It's going to come to the top where it is the second climbing checkpoint, and Guerra in there with Wozniak. Cooper is in there as well. Hansen is in there. Thiem, Quintero and Fawcett. Alvarado at the front, and he's been doing a sterling job climbing today, Adrian Alvarado.
Alvarado goes in over the line there on that Kyoto climb, looking very, very strong indeed. So our checkpoint scorers, Alvarado going in over the top in 1, SS in 2, Kankayan in 3. And then it's going to be a 4th place, I think, Takasugi. Then Mistakes 100 in there as well. Yuki right up at the front, so putting those climbing legs into good use as well. Very interesting to see how that plays out. The riders really pushing on. Category 2, the latest riders to get to the top of the climb. However, it is all about getting to the finish line as well. 23.9k covered. So they've done 2 out of the 3 ascents of the Kyoto climb. Khan Kane nicely tucked in this group as well. Khan and Bert Kane coming to the fore 2 years ago. And I know I've said this before on the Sunday Race Club if you watch this, but this is brilliant to see. Thank you very, very much to Khan and Bert for continuing to come in and race. They jumped on board and they've made the racing exciting ever since. And we really love it when riders get engaged and jump on board. So at the moment, as these riders come in through, all the results being updated on the MyWhoosh website, mywhoosh.com/results. Then go click on to the relevant race. You can do that for Sunday Race Club. You can do that for the MyWhoosh Championships. You can even do that for the World Championships as well. All here on MyWhoosh. MyWhoosh, the partner for the UCI for 2024, 25 and 26. As we take a look in at Michael Vink, the man who won this race back in 2023. 2 years later, he's looking to go and do the double to be the only winner at the top of the standings. At the moment, he is there in the group at the right place at the right time. And Michael Vink, of our riders who've moved from professional peloton on the road doing multi-day stage races to riding on cycling esports, he's the most recent returnee almost.
He is, and let's not forget he was a road racer. He was then an esports rider. He then went back to road racing, and now he's come back to esports. It's a really interesting journey and story around Michael Vink, and this week is going to suit him down to the ground. It really, really is. The question for me is, while Michael Vink pushes on here as he comes into this section, is who is the boss on the Boss Moves Only squad? Is it Vink? Is it Osborne? And we've seen them go head to head over the last few weeks, and recently Vink has come out on top. Now, is that about tailing off and getting your performance ready for the MyWhoosh Championships? Well, Jason Osborne's now chasing Michael Vink. The two teammates pushing it down the road, and Van Elst from the Aber Synergy squad now coming up into close contention and not letting either of them go.
Really interesting timing by Vink there. You could see him accelerate as he came down onto the flat, winding it up. 8 watts per kilo kick from him, just motoring his way into this climb, making it longer, making this rise harder. Then you saw Osborne, teammate, go with him. Everybody responding to that. Everybody jumping back in and trying to move. We're going to go back to the top of the climb of the Kyoto climb. Category 4 go through. They go through for the 3rd time of asking. Mohammed El Halami taking away top spot once again at the top of that Kyoto climb in category 2, doing an amazing job here in the Kyoto climb. Fantastic move by him in category 4 to take away top spot. El Alami taking that on the 3rd time of asking, taking it for the 2nd time of asking, and taking 2nd place on the 1st time up that climb. He amasses the most points. He only dropped 1 point across all 3 ascents.
Well, interestingly, we've got 5 riders now clear at the moment of the main group behind it. It's a big, big group in category 4. It was 46 riders last time we were in there, and I'm not sure it's changed that much. But Sprat El Halami in the mix here with Giuliano, 3 riders. I could tell you that those 3 riders are more than capable of going clear and staying clear should they choose to. I'm not sure they are going to make that choice. Well, the riders at the front of the Category 4 race pushing on here. 3 riders in the mix, El Halami, Sprat and Giuliano. The pace off at the moment, taking some recovery, but the pack behind also taking some recovery as well, which is why we've got a gap. And we have indeed got a good-sized gap at the moment. It's looking a little bit like out of sight and out of mind. 8 seconds at the moment these 3 riders have, and Sprat now noticing this and pushing on. They're pushing on into the next climb. If they climb this and climb strongly, well, this is the last main climb of the day before they meet the finish line.
So at the moment at 39.3k, those leaders in Category 4 continue to push. Remember, in front of them, Category 5 and 6. On your screens, Category 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Well, Category 4, Matt, would you push? Would you sit? What would you do if you were one of those 3 riders with that 10-second gap?
I'd go for it.
Well, Matt's going to go for it.
I go for it. And the reason I would go for it is because it's such a key point. Long descent, long run down, 8-9 seconds. When you go into a climb, you've got there by climbing. You haven't got there by sprinting. You've got there by climbing. And you've got the climbing legs. They're working. You've got to race to your strengths. And that means race on those hard sections, on that second part of the plateau where you've got that secondary climb that comes after the Kyoto checkpoint itself. Really, really, really important to race those strengths. That is key. You see that time and time again. Vink going to the front, Osborne going to the front, pushing where they've got the strength. Category 6, right-hand side of your screen. Marius Fossier racing to his strengths. He's such a strong rider. He's at 49.3k at the moment. Fossier, super strong, super sprinter. We see him taking points time and time again. Good to see Marius in person on the left-hand side of our screen. He's up against Maxime Fabre, Tora Escobar and co, but he's still a big group here in Category 6.
And for me, Fossier is a master of getting his timing right.
Yes.
You know, you really do have to nail that element. But this is a big group, you know. They're at the 49.7 kilometre marker. Wow, it is less than 8k to go now till the finish. It is either go long, go hard, or wait till the finish. They're on a flat transition now before they descend into the valley, and then they climb out of that valley, which is the final main climb before the uphill finish.
So the riders on their way into this flatland section. They've still got that 7k to go to the finish, including that horrible climb up to our finishing line here today in Japan on stage 1 of our 7 stages on the MyWhoosh Championship. Category 6 on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side, just dropping in with Category 2, a rider, Joel Warren, who is, Category 5 rider, Joel Warren, my apologies. Me and colours, always entertaining. As Warren goes through, O'Donnell in there with that polka dot jersey, Ladonna in there, Vincent, Hertz, Hagland. So those are the riders who are chasing. And again, Emma, big group in Category 5 as well. This is not coming, you know, it's despite their best efforts and going out like an absolute express train, aka like lunatics. They really were going hard at the start. They've not broken the groups down to 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. That makes a sprinter just that bit easier.
There's 21 riders in that Category 5 leading group, or at least there was at the 46.1 kilometre marker. So assuming they've all got back on, and it looks like they have through that sprint, 21 riders lining up now with 10k to go in the Category 5 race. Well, interestingly, look at that. We're going to drop in with Bruno O'Donnell, and I'm loving the glass and the view out of the window behind. Fabulous to see the rider from Brazil on our screens at the moment. He's in the polka dot skin suit. Leonardor just pushing on to close the gap down. Reinheimer in there as well as Hagland. They're going to bring that group back together, and O'Donnell is going to be brought back into the fold. Now, the polka dot skin suit wearer has an advantage at the finish today because it's uphill, but it is short.
I would say a climber has an advantage on the way, and I'm not sure having the polka dot skin suit is an advantage, because although it does say, yes, you're a great climber because you've ridden up there really well, it is a little bit of an easy target for people to spot. So if you want to follow a great wheel into the climber, then maybe jump them, you want to sit on the wheel of the polka dot jersey. So for me, yeah, it shows that you've been the best climber, and that being a climber is great in terms of getting your result. However, for me, really key to that is getting away and being able to kick and be relatively incognito. So by being incognito, you can't do that when you've got red dots and white shorts and jersey. That's not going to work. It's a bit like being world champion. Jason Osborne hasn't got the choice. He was in the world champion's jersey. He's now in the polka dot skin suit.
He's handed it over.
To
go incognito.
Well, yeah, in a polka dot skin suit. I mean, that's not polka. That is not incognito by anybody's stretch of the imagination.
Well, Jason Osborne put his nose out into the wind at the top of the Kyoto climb for the second time and picked up that polka dot skin suit. We've got one or two riders just dropped off the back, but it was Osborne from Penitsa, from Tugles, Jones, Knudsen at the top of that climb that time around. And I'm just having a little scroll to check the size of the group. It's a big group of Category 1 riders going through at that point in time. I'm looking and I'm counting 29 riders. So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 riders in that leading group still. They're coming to the top of the climb at the 25.7 kilometre marker. When you get to the top of the Kyoto climb, you get to the checkpoint, you then descend into the dell, and then you climb out again. Vyasin on our screens at the moment. You can see him part and parcel of that leading group. He's right on the front, actually, with Pucker and Safra Zaidi. Jason Osborne is there. They're going past some earlier starting riders at the moment. This pack is rolling strong now, coming up and over the climb. They are, well, I was about to say they're coming up to the halfway point, but they're not quite there yet.
So just keeping a check on these riders in Category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side of your screen, Category 6, our furthest riders down the race route, 53k covered. Well, they should be getting nervous now. 4k left to go, 4.1k to go, 4k to go. Really, really important now about energy conservation and using what you've got left working well. This is going to be really, really critical. The way that these riders ride now as they push in is going to be very, very telling. So, for example, Jeff Rooney, we know he climbs really well. He's a strong rider. Where does he put that effort in? He's on the right-hand side. Another attack, though, left-hand side going on the main screen. Michael Vink pushing over the top here. Quick response coming. Hayden Pucker and Jason Osborne very quickly moving up. So Vink goes as a one. Secondary punch, a 1-2 punch. Vink and Osborne. Pucker responds to it. Wu goes as well. The rest of the group are scrambling behind here. So the world champion joins the former winner of the MyWhoosh Championships. Pucker goes in over the top. Job done. Closed you down. Let's get there. We're all going to make our way down the road. But do you know what? They don't get clear.
No, they don't indeed. And Chirek, Osborne, Safrazadi, Knudsen, Kroll, Andreasen, all there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here come the rest. They're all coming in to the back of the group. Well, at the moment, I mean, I think it's going to be so hard to put a breakaway down the road in Category 1 today. The team competition, the type of climbing it is today, is no long steady climbs. There's no steep climbs. They're 3 short stepped climbs, and those steps enable the sprinters, the climbers, and the rouleurs to all stay together. It's quite a punchy nature of climbing. Very little to split Category 1 as we see another rider try and go down the road. Really, really interesting use of course here. This is the flat section before the long descent. Who might be attacking on a descent? Normally, it's Hayden Pucker.
Well, we'll see who has gone down the road in Category 1. Very quick chase coming after. Michael Vink it is who's gone again. They're using Pucker's tactics against him almost here as they go. Big, quick kick by Vink. Quick response. Vink, I think, really desperate to get away here. He's putting in repeated efforts here, and at some point it's going to snap. Vink goes. Pucker is the rider in second place, nearest to him. He knew the danger. He could see what was happening. Vink does not get away yet. But is it only a matter of time? 28.2k covered. They've done 2 of the 3 ascents of the Kyoto climb. They are, I mean, this is a 57k race. Michael Vink is racing hard here at 28.4k.
Yeah, he is. And notice it was Ollie Jones from Alphajaw who tried to close him down. Jason Osborne straight on Jones's wheel, because if Jones is going to close it down, Osborne thinks teammate wants to shut it down. He goes onto the front and shuts down the pace somewhat. Wu is there as well. Now Dan Churek. It's a really interesting point. As Vink's going down the road, the teams behind are looking at each other going, well, which team is going to do the chasing? Boss Moves Only isn't going to chase, but they are going to try and shut the moves down and follow the wheel and get in front and bring the pace back to enable Vink to go down the road. You know, who's going to go? Farmwatts, Alphajaw, Synergy, who is going to go? It's just one of those moments where sometimes by looking at each other and expecting another team to do it, that's when the gap goes.
And it gives the opportunity to the Boss Boo's only squad to launch 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 riders down the road if they're not careful. And that is why you've seen everybody. And there is almost a collective responsibility in that packing category 1 to chase down the moves of the big teams of Osborne and Vink, the 2 big favourites. Osborne, the key favourite, and really having marked himself out with that rainbow jersey. We'll take a look across, though, at Category 6 and 5. Category 6 on the left-hand side of your screen. That move by Steele and coming to North and being pulled back into the fold. Peter Cridland in there leading them out in Category 6 on the left of your screen. On Category 5, though, yet more movement. Interesting to see these riders jumping about. You can see another kick, another move, another response. The riders don't want to let anything go at this stage. Nobody wants to give this away. Vinther, though, looking to grab the advantage. He's currently 5k from the finish, and at the moment really is rocketing up. That's the sort of move we'd expect to see with 1 or 2k to go. Pretty much in category where Category 6 are now. Category 5, though, Vinther's putting them in early.
Well, I think he's trying to form a small group and take a small group away rather than the large pack that are behind him. And if Vinther could indeed get a group of 5 or 6 riders and they work together, they could stay clear of the pack for that 5 kilometres before the finish line. But I'm not sure anyone's going to want to work with him. I think they're just going to try and shut down the move.
We will have to see if Emma's prediction is going to come correct as we taking a look through these screens. The riders starting to get closer and closer to that 57.1k mark that marks the finish of stage 1. When they reach there, the riders will have done 471 metres of climbing. But a quick reminder, the final run is uphill. It's going to test our riders. It's a 2-stage run in to the finish. Really key to go up the first part in contention, but not to have used everything, because if you've used everything as you go into that final lift to the line, you're going to find your legs explode. You're going to go backwards at a rate of knots, like somebody's chucked an anchor out, because the rest of the group are going to come over the top. We're in with Category 6. This is your leading group. We are approaching that final moment. Somebody's going to choose to launch. Who will it be?
Well, we are approaching that final moment, and we're around 800 metres out from the finish line, 700 metres out from the finish line. Purcell is there, Cridland is there, Rademacher is there, Cadabona is there, Toro, Arago, Fabra, all in the mix. The question is, who's going to launch first? Riley Milostic is in the mix too. He's found himself on the front of the pack. I don't think he'll want to stay there. This group coming in of 19 riders has split into 2. Cadabona on the front with Cridland. Jose is there as well as Escobar. The pace dropping. They're looking at each other as well. But Purcell goes first. So does Fossey. Fossey goes at 12 watts per kilo. It's a big run to the finish line. He's got 300 metres to go. And Marius Fossey has launched at the attack. Simon Patel tries to manage it. So does Peter Cridland. Escobar goes now from behind. Will Fossey be able to hold this? Because if he can, he's going to stay clear. Stephen Tiger is coming at pace from behind. But Marius Fossey is holding the pace and holding the power. I think he's going to be the first rider across the line in the Men's MyWhoosh Championships Stage 1 today. Fossey takes the win from what I think is going to be Tiger and Cadabona. Or did Cadabona come over the top for second place? Going to take a little look.
So, Marius Fossey, I think, taking that sprint from Stephen Tiger, from Cadabona, Arago and Cridland. They were your top 5 riders in. Escobar followed by Fabra, Milostic, Patzel, then Rooney, Toro, Steele, Jose Radamaki going in over the line in that order in Category 6. A brilliant racing in Category 6. If you're still out there racing in Category 6, please keep on going. Remember, no climb lasts forever. It doesn't, I promise. You just got to keep on pushing and get yourself in. It's a long stage race. There's lots of time for riders to change position. Don't forget you can catch up with all the results on the MyWhoosh website. It's mywhoosh.com. Go to results. All the results at the moment are, of course, provisional. They're all subject to verification, to the checks that will take place after the racing. The team will be there late into the night and early into the morning, making sure they're updated before tomorrow. There will be a verified stamp on it when they are official. So just keep checking on there. At the moment, though, we have got our first riders in. That's category 6 in and through the finish. Provisionally, the BMC 6s have taken the team win from Level Carbon, with BMC Spinergy in third place. Provisionally, 4.874 seconds the difference between Rego Escobar and Toro of BMC 6s to Level Carbon's Catabona Rooney and Jose.
Well, it was a 13-up sprint, so I'm not surprised category 6 was close.
13, BMC Spinergy, 22 seconds down. So it shows you just how fast that racing is. And that is category 6, and how close that racing is. You can join in that fast racing on MyWhoosh. Jump on board on iOS, on Android, and on Windows. Make sure that you jump on board. You can come racing with all these riders every single Sunday. We're there as well, putting words to the action. Myself, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin of Full Speed Events, making sure that we get the homework done in between each and every show, each and every stage. Sleep's overrated, apparently.
It definitely is. And can I just say, called it BMC 6s.
Emma might be smug on the other side of the studio, smug.com, on the left-hand side, because she got that right. We'll see whether she can manage that on the way through. Clearly, all that research as a professor is working out correctly. We're going to go across, take a look at our other race categories, because category 6 have now finished. We're in with Ross Fawcett in category 2. Interestingly, as they went through the checkpoint, that's Kyoto climb for the third time, Mohamed Mutway going over the top in the Leave the UAE clan team. So the youngster on the team, showing that he's got some speed in his legs. That could be interesting. That could be indicative of who maybe they're going to be working for at the finish. But we will have to see who is going to be where. Now, Fawcett, Van Heat and Co chasing on behind.
It is indeed, and Ross Fawcett pushing on there as we drop in with category 5. They've got 900 metres to go here, and Reinheimer starting to open up and go long. Mkhitaryan right on his wheels. Mohamed Mkhitaryan and Philippe Reinheimer now pushing on here. Matt Smithson comes to the fore. Smithson should be able to get his timing right. Garcia Zimiel is there with Justin Roy. Luke Kendall is there too. They are coming up to 7. Well, they've got 600 metres to go as they go around the bend, but it's still a long run to the finish line in category 5. The question is, who from this group is going to get their timing right? Who is going to go across the line in 1? There's a number of riders who could do this. This is all about the launch. This is all about getting that correct. So Pulaka comes to the fore. Mkhitaryan is there. Reinheimer, Winter, Lenador. They are all in the mix. Tapia is as well, as Cirillo goes long. Cirillo's gone long at 300 metres out. Clinton Cirillo has pushed at 9 watts per kilo. Jussi Pulaka, Luke Kendall, Julian Hertz all behind. Hertz now starting to move, but he's going to have to put the power down to catch Dave Cirillo. Clinton Dave Cirillo is heading towards the pen. He's heading towards the finish line. Julian Hertz is coming. Hertz, I think, has left it too late. Cirillo is going to make it. He's on our screens at the moment. He goes underneath the banner. He takes the win in category 5. Cracking timing. It's looking like it is Hertz in 2, Warren in 3, Tapia in 4, Hagland in 5. It's all change as the riders come through and across the line, because that was 19 riders, 1 sprint.
So 19 riders in and over the line here. So great to see that in category 5. So the riders are on their way in to the race finish in category 5. We're going to do a quick check of the team's competition. Now, this is provisional. Clinton Dave Cirillo took the win individually. Look at this, takes the win in the team competition. Cycling District taking away the win here with Cirillo, Hertz and Tapia. Level up in second, Level Avengers in third. Great riding from them as they come in over the line in Category 5.
Well, Santiago Ramirez was on our screen in Category 4. They're the next pack we're going to see come towards the finish line, as we're seeing Category 3 go towards the sprint here. That's the checkpoint for the Tokyo Sprint, the final checkpoint sprint of the day. And that was Adam Stenman leading them through. Christopher Morgan, Henry Oyer, Nicholas Fournier and Ricky Lane all in the top 5. Nick Squilari was there as well. And now I'm just taking a little look because that is also a huge group as the point score comes up on your screen. For me, that was 32 riders. So 32 riders heading towards the finish line in Category 3.
And in Category 3, great riding there by Adam Stoneman. He took 4th place on the first sprint of the day. He took top spot in the second sprint, and he took top spot in the third sprint in Category 3, showing that he's got some speedy legs. I'm sure he'll be looking forward to our last stage, Stage 7. Will Nick Squilari be looking forward? Well, he's looking forward at the moment. He's got the gap to Keneal Davis and all the rest of that leading group of riders. They make their way down the course. Meanwhile, Michael Vink is doing a Michael Vink. He's on the attack again. This time, though, this is on the run to the top of the climb. So far, Jason Osborne has topped both Kyoto climb checkpoints. He's gone through with the lead. We will see if he can stay there because he should take the lead in the competition. How and retain that. Michael Vink, though, cleaning up some points here and maybe showing that it's not a one-way competition.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? They're holding him at 4 seconds at the moment. They are, what are they? They are coming up. There you go. I was about to say how many 100 meters are they out there? Not. They are literally polka dot banner at 5 seconds. They're going to want to close that down now because they're not going to want to let Vink go away and think this is now time trial mode. But that is what Vink is thinking because Vink has upped the power. Vink has pushed on here. So Vink thinks this is time to go. The points are being allocated as we speak, but Vink is the rider pushing on. Tugel's now trying to close this down. They are indeed closing down Michael Vink from behind. They will be closing that down and closing the gap. I've just seen 7 watts per kilo out of Jones doing some work to bring him back. Puckett, Thrall, Jones, all there at the moment. But Vink, well, they are trying to bring the gap back. He's sitting still, hovering out front.
And we've got a drop, a descent, where Vink at the moment is just clear. These riders know that there is a danger because they're going to drop down. It's only about 100 meters or so at the bottom where it's not even flat as we drop down in towards the side of the motor racing circuit, past the grandstands, and then back up again. You're going to go into the second part of this climb on the plateaus up on the top of Kyoto. And I think for me, this is really, really telling. Vink has gone. Vink is trying to hold this. If he can get out the other side, he's going to be into that descent towards the Tokyo Sprint. If he's got a gap, it's going to be for the rest of the teams to chase. Category 1, left-hand side. Vink trying to break clear yet again. Right-hand side of the screen, Perdoncini leading Category 4 at 54.6k to go. This is a part 1 of that climb in